today, in this 15 minutes, Francesca and I are going to tell you about the status of training and employment in Italy. We have called this presentation The Reverse Journey of a Streetcar Named Train to Validate. I will explain in a minute what I mean. This is the agenda of the presentation. I will first introduce the current situation in Italy and try to make some parallelism with what Rocio and Daniel and Oscar have already said. Then Francesca will describe the global and specific results, the most interesting results deriving from the questionnaire that was spread among Italian experts. And finally, we will leave room for a short Q&A session that we are seeing. They are very short, so I think I will stick to the time that I was allowed. So concerning the current situation of Easy to Read in Italy, first of all, let me say that in Italy we are more or less 60 million people, and 7% of these people are not native speakers, meaning that Easy to Read, if we consider it in a wider perspective of inclusion of everybody with some sorts of disabilities in reading, can also be very useful for these people. 6% of the population has a disability, and the problem is that we don't have reliable data on people with reading issues, because it's, as you know, it's something that people are not really aware of. Sometimes they are ashamed of this. So it's difficult to have reliable data on how many people we can provide accessibility to when it comes to providing easy to read texts. But we know that the amount of potential users is always much, much higher compared to the exact number of people who say they have a given disability. Concerning easy to read language, there is quite something about easy to read language in Italy. There is quite an important job that has been done from the research perspective. Elisa Perego has done a lot in the last 2 or 3 years about easy to read, and we are proud to have her today in this conference. There is the major association in Italy who deals with easy to read language is called ANFAS. And there are other associations who deal with specific aspects of reading disabilities, like APRI and others. Our partner in this project is Più Cultura Accessibile. They have a wider view about accessibility, and this is basically also the aim of the Easy to Read, the Train to Validate project, that of providing accessibility in the widest way possible. Italy has participated in 3 international projects. Rocio has already mentioned Easyit, and Train to Validate is trying to further spread the news of easy to read language, writing, facilitating, and validating. Concerning training, we have seen in Italy, as we also have seen with the questionnaire, there is a little vocational training and very little projects about academic training. Validators are in particular mainly volunteers, and facilitators have not recognized status. Basically, they don't even consider themselves as people who are doing a job, a real job. So this is important as a piece of data, and it helps us understand why we do need what the train to validate is going to provide. We have named this this presentation the reverse journey of a streetcar named train to validate, in referring to Tennessee Williams' famous novel, a streetcar named Desire, because the desire is that of providing training and employment opportunities. And the reverse journey is because in Italy, we are basically providing training before that a real profession exists. I will now give the floor to Francesca. I will continue moving the slides. Francesca? Yes. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Francesca, in the interpretation function, make sure you select English and
then... You hear me now?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So as I was saying, my name is Francesca Bleve, and I'm a member of the Dissemination and Quality Board in the project in collaboration with Carlo and SSML Pisa. And so my part, as Carlo was saying, will be structured as following. So first of all, I'm going to give you an overview on the global results that we have collected through the Italian survey. And second of all, I will analyze the status of validators and facilitators in Italy through the data we gathered. So let's start with the global results. And the Italian survey has collected a total of 41 answers. So I will give some information about the demographic profile of the participants to begin with. But before going into detail, I would like to say that we have sent the survey to selected people only. So we have focused on partners that have already collaborated to the Easytoread project, which is the recent European project about Easytoread. And I'm talking about partners as the associations mentioned by Carlo before. So ANFAS and Cultura Accessibile and so on. So going back to the results, I will now analyze the status, the demographic profiles, and I'm sorry, of the facilitators and validators in Italy. So the participants all live in Italy and their mother tongue is Italian, except for one participant whose mother tongue is Spanish. Among the participants who completed the survey, 33 of them were women and the remaining 8 were men. And this confirms what has been shown also by the data provided by other partners during our previous conference held in March, that is, women are predominating in the Easytoread world. 2 participants also reported that they had a stroke and they were left with aphasia, so they use Easytoread language to access contents. Next slide, please. Thank you. So now we will move on to the section concerning education and training in Easytoread. And this is a section which provides relevant results for the creation of the curriculum that facilitators and validators should study. So only 5 participants received training related to Easytoread. Only 2 of them attended a university course, and the other participants attended vocational courses or workshops, or they did an internship or received in-house training, and one participant reported to be a self-taught expert. The participants who specified that they had a stroke also reported that they were not familiar with any kind of easy-to-read content before having the stroke. And all other participants specified that during their training in easy-to-read, they would have liked to be trained in other fields, such as the audiovisual translation, and in particular, the audiovisual, the audio description field. And as also Oscar was saying before, we observed that generally people working in this word, in easy-to-read word, are trained as translators or other similar profession. One of the participants also reported that they would have liked to learn how to adapt digital content into easy-to-read contents, and only 3 participants received handbooks as a training material. And among these 3, only one specified the handbook used during the training, which is the Italian version of Information for All, European standards for making information easy to read and understand. Next slide. Thank you. So this section includes questions about the current activity of the participants and their potential work in easy to read. The information collected here are varied and diversified, as the participants generally work at university or in a research institution, but they also work in not-for-profit organizations. However, none of them works full-time as an expert in easy-to-read content. 2 of them work as volunteers, and only 4 of them work as part-time experts. As for the payment, they are generally not paid for their easy-to-read work, and only 2 of the participants reported to be paid, but also reported that their main income is from another profession. 12 participants reported also to collaborate with or work for associations for people with disabilities, be they intellectual, sensory, age-related, or reading-related. The last section, the next section, deals with results from validators and facilitators, and I believe this is one of the most important sections because it offers an interesting perspective on easy-to-read current situation in Italy, as none of the participants work as a validator of easy-to-read content, and only 1 participant reported to be a trained facilitator. So they produce, write, and translate easy-to-read content and have facilitated between 5 and 10 validation projects, cooperating with other validators, and specified that in order to organize sessions of facilitation, they use dedicated software and reference work and a beamer to show the text to translate on the wall. And then we have the final section of skills for validators and so despite the different backgrounds, in the next slide, we can see that all participants agree on the skills and competencies to be acquired. And we can see that only 17 of them would enroll a program and 22 of them would recommend such a program. So to conclude, despite the efforts and progresses made thanks to the European project as Easy and Train to Validate, the answer obtained show that in Italy, the emerging field of easy-to-read word is still largely unknown. And this is due to several factors as like, for instance, the lack of official guidelines or the lack of academic research and training, and also to the fact that most of people working in this field are volunteers. So we really look forward to reaching this goal through the Train to Validate project, and I would like to thank very much my partners, my colleagues, and all of you who are here today. So if there is any question, we will be happy to answer. Thank you.